welcome to the Bear's Den. My name is codenamed Big Bear, or Stuart if you want to call me by my first name. Today we are doing a review of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So let's just do this. This game has been around for a very long time. Realistically it has anyway. It started off on the Game Boy way back when, probably about 1993, 1994. I will just flash up the actual date there for you because I've completely forgotten off the top of my head, and I forgot to write it down because idiot. And it was recently remade, so it was actually released last year, 2019, and it has been beautifully upgraded. Just visual style straight up. You can see from the Game Boy version, nice and flat models kind of thing, which limitations of the console, obviously, you really couldn't do anything about that at all. But with the Switch, it has actually given us some lovely, beautiful 3D models, all with a toy aesthetic, and everything just looks so damn cute! Oh my god, it looks so cute! Hang on, there's going to be a little link up there, just to give you an idea. But honestly, this game is just stellar to look at. There are some issues that people have. For instance, it has like blurring at the top of the screen and below the screen. Personally, I think that's more of a way for us to focus on the middle of the screen and really focus on what's going on. And also, I just like to think that maybe it's what Link can't really see. You know, he knows it's there, but it's in his periphery, so you want to focus what's in front of him. People did have issues with this. Some said it was motion sickness, or they just couldn't get along with it at all, and that stopped them playing the game. And for me, that's just a travesty. It really is. This game is just absolutely stellar, and it's been part of my game library since I was a child. And this version of it is the definitive version. Is absolutely incredible. I love this game. Love it. But what is Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening about? Well, you played Link, obviously, or whatever you want to call him. It's actually set after A Link to the Past, the Super Nintendo game, the SNES game. After he beats Ganon, he's sailing across the ocean to find other ways to keep Ganon at bay, I suppose. And he gets shipwrecked on an island. Shipwrecked on an island, and he's found by Marin, and Marin wakes him up. Well, she doesn't wake him up. She puts him in bed, and he eventually just wakes up and tells him that he's on this island. And you know, she found him on the beach. And that's pretty much it. Well, actually, it's not. That's just the beginning part. The whole point of the story is to awaken the Windfish. The Windfish is inside a giant egg that sits on top of a mountain, which is a really cool visual. And if it pops up on the screen, in fact, here it goes. There it is, right there. You can't see it at all, I know, but it's a really cool visual to actually have within the game, and a really cool concept as well. But whilst you are adventuring through the game, you actually discover that you're kind of inside the Windfish's dream. At least that's what things are telling you anyway. And yeah, because it's up to you to finish the game and find out for yourself. But things are telling you this throughout the game. If you destroy us all and you wake the Windfish, we're all gonna disappear. And obviously if they disappear, that means that is a lack of existence for everyone on the island, and possibly Link himself. This is a standard kind of, I say standard Zelda? It plays very much like the top-down Zeldas of the past, and you know, maybe like, yeah, just of the past, we haven't really had a modern top-down Zelda for a very long time. But it plays like those anyway, so you walk around, you use your sword, you use your shield, you attack enemies, you find dungeons, you get the thing from the dungeon, and you progress through the story that way. But there are a few little twists and turns here and there as well. So instead of finding the item that makes you get through that one singular dungeon, like the grip hook for instance, you can actually use that throughout, and you need it throughout. So once you get to Dungeon 3, I don't think you can get the grip hook there, but once you get to Dungeon 3, let's say the grip hook is in that one, you will probably need the grip hook throughout the rest of the game. You can get bows and arrows, you can get boomerangs, you can get all sorts of stuff that you would expect within a Legend of Zelda game. I've got to learn to breathe, man. I don't breathe. But every now and again, whilst you're in the dungeon, you end up on a side-scrolling section, which is really quite cool. It kind of reminds me of Mario. For instance, you go down one ladder and all of a sudden there's a piranha plant just coming out of its pot, which is really cool. You know, especially having like Goombas and Yoshi dolls, and then there's loads more Nintendo characters thrown in there as well, which adds to the weirdness of this game. You know, normally in a Zelda game you're speaking to pretty much humans or Gorons or Zoras. really hope they're called Zoras. Fish people, essentially. Yeah, and it all kind of fits, but when you throw in the Mario characters, it throws it completely out of whack, which adds to the whole thing of the enemies telling you that you're in a dream as well, which is just a nice little touch. But the side-scrolling bits is completely, well, I say completely new. It was Legend of Zelda 2, essentially, that had that kind of element. But with this visual style that we have with Legend of Zelda, a Link to the Past, no, it's Link's Awakening. With this visual style that we have with Link's Awakening and that 2D style, again, it's so friggin' cute. It just looks and works perfectly. You have the rock feather hopping across. You can actually jump in this game, which is pretty cool. And obviously, you can kind of cheat and use those things to get ahead of the game a little bit further here and there to get to certain areas. So you're like using your Pegasus boots and jumping through, doing that way. Talking about Pegasus boots and the rock feather, in fact, actually for any item, in fact, back in the Game Boy days, you only had 2 buttons to play with. So you had to go into the inventory menu and switch that out constantly. It was an absolute nightmare. And when you're a kid, playing that game, that was a lot of item management that became very difficult and also became confusing as well, because sometimes you'd assign a sword back to A or B. If you didn't have it stuck on A all the time, you'd get confused and end up dying because of it, or losing loads of health. You know, you forget about your shield, so you had to pick up your bow and arrow. And as a result, you just die a lot. But with the Switch version, you have certain things mapped to certain buttons. Pegasus boots is right trigger, the right bumper button is your shield, A is attack. You know, I've probably got the mapping wrong, but you've got your Pegasus boots, your bracelet, your shield, your sword, all mapped to separate buttons, and you don't have to change them at all. In fact, I rarely took off the rock feather throughout my entire gameplay because I didn't feel I ever needed that extra space. I just went into the inventory menu and switched out for the different item that I wanted at the time or needed at the time. I can't really talk about this game without mentioning its sound. Legend of Zelda music is iconic. You cannot fault it. Ever, to be honest. It's always so good, and it's absolutely beautiful to play. Whilst you're playing this game and you got the playing along, it's just magical. It really is. And they've completely upgraded it. Obviously, why have the Game Boy versions when you can have new orchestral versions? I'm gonna say orchestral. It sounds orchestral. I'm not sure it is. That's something that I'll have to look into, and I really should have done it before I did this video. But anyway, there is another element to this game as well, and it's the dungeon creator. You go and see Dampé, or he appears later on in the game, and basically you go to him and you do challenges for him by building your own dungeons. It's kind of like a prelude to a Zelda Maker instead of Mario Maker, I suppose. It is really limited, and there's not really much you can do apart from build the dungeons that you make, but you can make them unique within your own things, within your own creation. You don't have to stick to what Dampé gives you, but you do have to stick to certain patterns as well. And you need this to 100% the game if you want all your hearts, if you want all your shells as well. But I didn't really bother. In fact, I tried, and my imagination is not very good when it comes to things like that, so I didn't even bother going into it too much. You have to use tiles that you've been through before, so if you've gone through a temple before, it's those tiles that end up in the Dungeon Maker. It's a really cool element, and some people are going to get a kick out of it and have a blast doing it, but because it is tiles you have, you're going to have the same bosses, you're going to have the same puzzles. If you play through the game, you're just going to smash through those dungeons no problem, and it's a bit of a damper on that side of things, but I'm not including that in my final score because I didn't really do it, so it's one of those. So overall, this game is absolutely amazing. It really is a wonderful game, but I don't want to give it a perfect score or a 9 out of 10, purely because if I do, I think it's just favoritism. I really want to be like impartial whenever I review a game as much as I can. So what would other people enjoy about this game? Would they really like it? It's not amazingly long. I put about 20 hours into the game, and it was just really fun. So I'm going to give it an 8. It's going to get an 8 out of 10 for me. It is such a good game and so worth playing. But compared to other Zelda games, it is not perfect. So anyway guys, please let me know what you think about this game down below. We have social media of course, which is Respawning UK. We have a website, www.respawning.co.uk. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe as you would do. I really hope you do that. It really helps us out in the future for these videos as well. But again, have yourself an amazing day and be nice to each other, yeah?